Welcome to Square One Games. My name is Exonovan and this is my road to completion guide for Nioh 2. In this series, I will show you how to unlock every trophy this game has to offer, and I really hope you enjoy the run. Make sure to read the announcements before watching the guide. I'll also have them listed below in the description and my pinned comment along with other valuable information about the series. Before we start, I just want to give a special shout out to those of you supporting me each month on Patreon. Your continued financial support allows me to make quality road to completion guides for trophy and achievement hunters from all around the world. I could not do this without all of you, so thank you. If you've recently supported me through PayPal, I've read your messages and I appreciate your support as well. And finally, our Platinum Race winner for Final Fantasy X HD Remaster was James Hay. James was the first member of the Crazy 88 to unlock the Platinum Trophy following my guide. I hope you enjoy your $50 cash prize and the rest of your rewards. If you would like to participate in Platinum Race or take part in other rewards, check out my Patreon for more details. Now, it's time for Nioh 2. Disconnect from the internet and set up basic options before starting the game. I'll be turning down the music volume to 0 to avoid copyright issues, but you can set the volume wherever you'd like. Customize your character and select Finalize Settings to start the game. Our character was created by one of my Crazy 88 members over on Patreon known as Lionheart. None of these customization options affect any trophies, so feel free to personalize your character. In the meantime, let me go over some very important details about the guide. Number 1, always pick up items when you kill an enemy. The most important thing to remember is the items that drop from enemies, and the ones we pick up from chests, are completely random, so don't concern yourself with what you're picking up. Gather what you can so we can use it later in the guide. Number 2, the guide is optimized for beginners and advanced players. I will point out spots in the series where advanced players can deviate to make their run more efficient, but if you're a beginner, I would highly encourage you to follow each step in this guide for the best experience. Number 3, Nioh 2 is full of random elements, so you need to pay more attention to what I say than what you see throughout the series. If you see me pick something up, but I don't specify that it's important, or I don't list it below in the timeline, then it's not necessary to complete the run. Number 4, safety saves are recommended, especially if you're a beginner, but they are not required. If you plan on using safety saves, make sure you're playing Nioh 2 with an active PlayStation Network account, or you have a USB storage device. If you're unfamiliar with safety saves, they are basically saves that we can create in the middle of a mission that serve as checkpoints. I will demonstrate how to create safety saves on the PS4 later in the guide. Check the description and my pinned comment for information regarding safety saves on the Xbox and PS5. Move forward and select 2 weapons and a guardian spirit. If you're a beginner, select the Hatchets, Kusarigama, and the guardian spirit on the left. If you're an advanced player with a good understanding of how combat works, feel free to choose weapons and a guardian spirit that suits your playstyle. Don't worry because none of these choices will void any trophies. The Divine Branch Fragment can be used to exit missions, but any Amrita we've acquired will be lost. Amrita is what we use to level up our character. For now, use the left thumbstick to locate secret areas on the map and press X to pick up hidden items. We have to find 10 secret items to unlock a trophy called a Seasoned Traveler. You'll know when you found a secret location because the cursor will turn red. Scroll over the starting point, press X and select Dojo from the menu. If you're a beginner, complete the Dojo missions to gain a better understanding of controls and combat. If you're an advanced player, you can skip this step. Press the touchpad and equip the wooden Kusarigama, then perform a quick and strong attack. Press square for quick attack and triangle for strong attack. You can also switch stances by holding down R1 and tapping triangle, square, or X. Lock on to targets with R3 and switch between targets using the right thumbstick. Block attacks with L1 and dodge with X. The middle bar in the top left of the screen is our key, which is basically stamina. It's possible to block in the middle of an enemy's combo by holding L1. This is a great way to prevent damage if you're not comfortable dodging. We've already discussed how to switch stances, but you can practice this again now. Since our strategy depends on dealing high damage while keeping our distance, we will remain in high stance for the rest of the game. Grappling enemies is a great way to deal damage. Drain an enemy's ki, get close enough for the red marker to appear, and press triangle. Each enemy has HP and ki. The top bar is their HP, and the bottom bar is ki. Ki Pulse has a ton of combat benefits, but isn't necessary to complete the run. In fact, we will never use Ki Pulse or any skills that align with Ki Pulse except for a little demonstration coming up in the first mission. You are free to study the benefits of Ki Pulse and implement this into your playstyle if you'd like. You can trigger a Ki Pulse by hitting R1 as the particles surround your body after an attack. Yokai realms affect our ki recovery, plus we take more damage. We can clear yokai realms with the Ki Pulse, but again, this will not be necessary to complete the run. Burst counters and burst attacks can be done with R1 plus circle as long as we have enough anima, which is represented by the bottom bar in the top left of the screen. We will eventually need to burst counter with all 3 yokai forms to unlock a trophy called Burst Breaker later in the guide. For now, just complete the tutorial. Yokai Shift allows us to turn into our yokai form for a limited time. Attacking, blocking, dodging, and taking damage will decrease the time we can spend in this form. If you look in the top left of the screen, you'll see a circle. This is called the Amrita gauge. Anytime this gauge is full of color and glowing, we'll have access to our yokai form. We will only use this form to help us defeat bosses in Region 1, but you can perform a yokai shift at any time for the rest of the game. This training ground will give us an opportunity to fight several enemy types, plus we can practice shifting in the yokai form. To keep this simple, counterattack in high stance and defeat each enemy type with strong attacks. Keep your distance and get comfortable blocking. You can also use quick attacks and grapples on downed opponents. Go back to the world map when you're comfortable with the combat and the controls. Main missions are represented by red flags on the map. Details such as the name of the mission, recommended character level, rewards, and the amount of Kodama within each mission can be found on the right. This main mission is called the Village of Cursed Blossoms. Recommended character level is 1. Rewards include the longbow, 4 sacred waters, 3 high quality leather, and 1 red spider lily. We get 2,800 gold and 1,200 Amrita for completing this mission. And we have to find a total of 7 Kodama. You can press X to read more about the story before each mission. Press R1 to see how many times you've cleared a mission, dark realms you've dispelled, and the amount of hot springs you've bathed in. You can review this information at any time if you think you missed something along the way. Small flames are littered throughout each mission, but only a few are required to complete the run. Grab this one for a quick small spirit stone and pray at shrine number 1.
Should you seek comfort in your sorrow, you would be wise to head to the nearby shrine.
Select level up and place 1 stat point into dexterity. Our weapon, the Kusarigama, grows stronger each time we raise dexterity, so it's important for us to focus on this stat for a majority of the run. If you're an advanced player, you can raise the primary stat that affects your weapon the most, or dump the point into another stat of your choice. Now let's talk about our HUD. The small icon in the top left beside the Amrita gauge represents our yokai shift form. Red is brute, blue is feral, and purple is phantom. Our map is in the top right, the shrine is highlighted in green, our character is the white triangle, and our destination is glowing white on the perimeter of the map. The 2 boxes on the right are for weapons, ranged weapons are on top, and melee weapons are on bottom. And of course we have our stances, gold, and Amrita in the bottom right. We can hold down the R1 button to manipulate the HUD. Pressing right and left on the D-pad cycles through our shortcut sets in the bottom left of the screen. Press up to switch between ranged weapons and down to switch between hatchets and the Kusarigama. Remember, we always want to remain in high stance with the Kusarigama. There are 49 types of yokai we have to defeat to unlock a trophy called Yokai Quelling Master, and the enemy up ahead is our first type, known as a Gaki. Notice that the enemy dropped something. In my case, it was gold, but you probably got something completely different. Remember, and this is very important, always pick up whatever an enemy drops, regardless of what I show in the gameplay.
A shameful defeat. How could I have been so careless?
You can also pick up the Lone Wolf's Hood for additional defense from the small flame on the corpse, but this is completely optional. When you examine a piece of armor or weapon, you'll notice equipment weight at the top, followed by general stats, special effects in the middle, a list of buffs below that, and requirements at the bottom. If you're curious about what each stat does, simply press the options button to review everything on the list. Defeat Gozuki to get credit toward our 49 yokai kills. We can also use this time to acquire 1 Kusarigama skill point, the Bold Wrangler trophy, and get the village cemetery key. The easiest way to defeat Gozuki is to lure him down the small path just before the gate. The trick is to get him as close to the small path as possible, run down past the gate while he attacks, then run back up the path to force him into another attack. Each time he throws rocks, he tends to move a little closer to the path. If you feel comfortable, dashing past the rocks works even better. We can attack during this process and even kill Gozuki, but the ultimate goal is to have him move down the path so we can lock him into a forced running animation. To set this up, simply run behind the right part of the gate to dodge his rock attack, stand directly under the gate, and wait for him to run. Once he starts running, hit him with strong attacks until he dies. Now let's talk about proficiency points. We are currently using the Kusarigama, so each time we deal damage to an enemy, we slowly build up our proficiency rating, which is represented by the blue bar. Each time the bar fills, we get a skill point. The game will notify us each time we earn a skill point by displaying a message over the shortcut sets menu on the left side of the screen. If you ever need to restore health, press up on the D-pad to use an elixir. After killing Gozuki, loot the area and follow me to collect our first Kodama. There are 175 Kodama in the game, but we only have to collect 150 to unlock the Kodama Leader Trophy because the rest are tied to DLC. Open the gate using the village cemetery key and grab the Kodama behind the house. Wrap around the area, cross the bridge, and level up Dexterity at Shrine number 2. We can hold down the X button to sprint past the enemy on the bridge. Running past enemies is usually the best play since most enemies have slow reaction times. If done correctly, we can even stop enemies from chasing us by leaving their general area or running behind cover in the environment. See how the Gaki forgot about us simply because we ran around the corner. Now we have a free pass to get the next Kodama. We could take the time to kill all the enemies, but learning how to manipulate their AI will make our run much more efficient. Drop off the cliff and follow me back to shrine number 2. Practice running past enemies so we can open up the shortcut leading back to this shrine. The goal is to get the board off the gate before we die. If you fail, try again. I'm going to die on purpose so I can demonstrate how to recover our guardian spirit. Press X to recover our guardian spirit so we have access to all the Amrita we had before we died. If we fail to recover our guardian spirit, then all the Amrita we've accumulated before we died will be lost forever. Use the small spirit stone we picked up earlier to help fill up our Amrita gauge. Shift into yokai form by pressing R1 plus circle and kill the enemy up ahead. If you fall out of yokai form, run away from the enemy past the shrine to gain the advantage. Notice how the enemy can still see us, but since we're outside of his roaming area, he freezes and tethers back to his starting location. Break the wooden crates and grab the Kodama behind the building. Walk slowly between the building and check behind the baskets to get the next Kodama. Remember the location of the blue grave in the distance because we have to come back for it later. Black chests usually contain random items, but sometimes there's a special yokai inside called a Mujina, which is basically a mimic. This particular chest has random items, and the way you can tell is because it has two metal bars on the left and right side. Mimic chests always have 3. Mimics are rare, but we should be able to find at least 4 to 5 before completing the game. I'll actually come across my first mimic chest in episode 3 at the 22:26 mark. So if you're looking for a full explanation about how to kill the mimic and collect its soul core, watch that portion of the series. I'll link it below. If episode 3 isn't live yet and you happen to come across a mimic chest, go pray at the nearest shrine and stop following the guide. Wait until episode 3 goes live in a few days so you can review the entire process. If you're a member of my Crazy 88 on Patreon, you already have access to the full series, so check episode 3 out now for more information. I will show the location of as many chests as possible throughout the series to better your chances of finding a mimic. I may not open every chest, but I will point them out with my gun. Run back to the shrine and make an offering to the Kodama. To make this easy, select all items with R2 and choose yes, do not ask again to get some divine rice. The gift is random and will not affect any trophies. In my case, I got an elixir. Let's choose the Oracle blessing so we can increase the amount of Amrita we get by 5%. Go into the Kodama Bazaar and look for gunpowder bombs. If you don't see any, quit the game and continue until they appear. Quitting the game manipulates the RNG, so we are eventually guaranteed to get gunpowder bombs. You can skip this step if you've chosen to level up a stat other than Dexterity. We have to buy an item from the Bazaar to unlock a trophy called Trinket Triumph. If you're leveling up Dexterity, buy the maximum amount of Gunpowder Bombs to pop the trophy. If you're leveling up a different stat, buy any item from the Bazaar to get the trophy. Switch between shortcut sets with L1 or R1. And equip the Elixir in Shortcut 5 and the Gunpowder Bomb in Shortcut 7. Hold R1 and press right on the D-pad to bring up the second shortcut set, so we have access to the Gunpowder Bombs. The goal is to farm 1 ninja skill point from the enemy on the bridge. Anytime we use an item classified as a ninja weapon, our proficiency as a ninja will increase. Skip this step if you're not leveling Dexterity. Learn the Gunpowder Bomb skill from the Ninja skill tree and the Reaper skill from the Kusarigama skill tree. Pray at the nearby shrine and ready 6 Gunpowder Bombs from the Jutsu menu. Slot the 6 Iga Gunpowder Bombs in Shortcut 7. Iga Gunpowder Bombs are automatically replaced anytime we pray at shrines, which gives us a huge advantage as we travel through missions. Now let's farm 6 more ninja skill points using our Iga Gunpowder Bombs. Once again, feel free to skip this step if you're not leveling Dexterity. Learn Gunpowder 2 and 3, Shuriken 1, and Kunai 1, 2, and 3 using the skill points we just farmed. Level up Dexterity to 11 and ready 6 Kunai along with 10 Gunpowder Bombs. Equip the 6 Kunai in Shortcut 3. For the rest of the game, our focus is to use ninja weapons as much as possible so we can unlock more ninja skill points. This will give us advantage play for general combat, but especially with boss fights. Follow me to the next combat area so we can get another Kodama and meet our first Scampuss. Scampuss are small animals that help us regenerate anima, plus they can serve as a distraction and can even attack enemies from time to time. Since they are only available for a short amount of time, we need to use them wisely. We will have to collect one of their soul cores to get the platinum trophy, but I'll show you how to farm for this later in the guide. Dark realms are infested with yokai, so be extra careful anytime you walk into a shaded area. Few things you need to be aware of. Enemies have increased defense and attack power, plus our key recovery is very slow inside of dark realms. We can easily counter the effect of slow ki recovery by using ninja weapons like gunpowder bombs, kunai, and shurikens, since these items do not require any ki to use. To dispel a dark realm, we must find and kill a specific yokai. We can kill the other yokai first, but if we kill the primary target, then all the other enemies in the dark realm will lose ki and we'll have the advantage. For this example, let's single out the primary target inside the temple by killing the smaller yokai first. Running outside of dark realms will teleport enemies back to their original location. If you run far enough away, but they don't leave the dark realm, they'll eventually stop and slowly return to their original location. This is a great strategy if things get out of hand, plus any damage we inflicted will remain. Grab the random items and the inner shrine key off the corpse, then open the black chest. Remember, if you see 3 metal bars on both sides, pray at the nearby shrine and check out episode 3 for more information about the mimic. Use the inner shrine key to open the gate. Kill the enemy and grab the last Kodama for this mission. You'll know that you've collected all the Kodama because the game will display a notification above the shortcut sets in the bottom left of the screen. Run back to shrine number 2 and offer all your items to the Kodama so we can get more divine rice. Take the time to buy the maximum amount of Ochoko Cups and Elixirs, then set up the auto purchase option for both of these items with triangle. Let's talk about the difference between red graves and blue graves. Red graves are hostile NPCs that can be killed for equipment, Ochoko Cups, and glory. Glory is a particular currency that we'll talk about later in the guide. For now, let's kill the hostile NPC so you can see how this process works. Human enemies are notorious for blocking and evading, so shy away from spamming attack. Blue graves, otherwise known as Acolytes, are friendly NPCs that help us in combat, but we need a specific amount of Ochoko Cups to summon them. We just set up Ochoko Cups for auto purchase at the Bazaar, so as long as we have a healthy supply of Divine Rice, we'll never run out. There is a trophy called Help Wanted for summoning 10 Acolytes, and I'll show you how to get this in episode 2. Praying at a shrine will automatically teleport the Acolyte to your current location, which is a great way to keep the friendly NPC from taking too much damage. Level up Dexterity to 13 so we can ready more Kunai. Each time we level Dexterity, our capacity to hold more weapons increases. You can farm the nearby Gaki if you need more Amrita. Once again, if your primary stat is not Dexterity, you can skip this step. I will show you two strategies to defeat the first boss. The first strategy is a combination of ninja weapons, yokai shift, and the Acolyte. If you're a beginner, this strategy works against every boss in the entire game where an Acolyte is available. Strategy 1. The first thing we want to do is put the Acolyte between us and the boss, so the Acolyte pulls all the aggro. Once the boss is distracted, we can deal damage from a distance using our bombs and kunai. If we can maneuver behind the boss, our attacks will deal even more damage, since attacks from behind get a damage boost. It's best to lead with Gunpowder Bombs because of the fire damage, which appear as orange numbers. If we throw enough bombs in quick succession, we can build up the fire damage, which gives us damage over time. This is represented by a small badge under an enemy's key bar, or it'll be over the health bar at the bottom of the screen if we're fighting a boss. Throwing another Gunpowder Bomb just before the badge disappears keeps it active, resulting in a continuous stream of additional damage. Typically, when a boss switches to their Dark Realm form, the goal is to evade, but we need to deal as much damage as possible before the Acolyte dies. If we get the boss to break the rock, we can shift into Yokai form. This is a prime opportunity to finish the fight, but I plan on taking a death to show you the second strategy. You can see that defeating bosses is very easy with our ninja weapons, Yokai form, and Acolyte. Strategy number 2. The goal for this demonstration is to showcase how to outsmart bosses, plus we can practice using the Reaper skill. Hold down L1 and press triangle to use Reaper. We can use Reaper as long as we have ki. Objects in the environment negate damage even if an enemy's weapon strikes our character. We can easily gain the advantage by sneaking behind cover and popping out for a quick counterattack. Run to the side while moving forward to avoid incoming projectiles. Reaper is a great way to deal damage and drain ki from an enemy, but the trick is to not get greedy. We can incorporate ninja weapons and yokai shift, or solely focus on the Kusarigama to get the job done. This strategy makes fights longer but keeps us safe. Again, if you're a beginner, I would encourage you to stick with the first strategy for the easiest experience, but I wanted to showcase this strategy for those wanting to fight more with the weapon. When the boss goes down, get close enough and tap the triangle to perform a finishing blow. This action unlocks a trophy called GRAZER Eraser. After the cutscene, grab the random items and the Soul Core. We can use Soul Cores to boost our stats, acquire various special effects, and perform special moves. We have to collect all 51 Soul Cores to unlock the Soul Searcher trophy, but the problem is that some of the cores drop randomly. To avoid confusion, we will not track Soul Cores in the timeline of each video. Instead, I want you to pick up all the Soul Cores you spot throughout the entire run, and I'll do the same. Any Soul Cores we apply to our character are guaranteed, so you'll never have to worry about falling out of step with the guide. We will use episode 34 to gather any Soul Cores we've missed along the way, so we can all get the trophy. If you follow this guide correctly, there should be very few Soul Cores left to collect by the end of the run. Talk to the NPC to finish the mission. This action unlocks another Guardian Spirit, the Dawn of a Dream trophy, and another trophy called Core Score. Take a moment to attune Mezuki Soul Core onto our character. You can review each Guardian Spirit protection bonus with the options button if you'd like. The bonuses in white are active, while the dim ones are inactive. Always check for accessories that have special effects that complement your character. I will only equip accessories from guaranteed drops as rewards to ensure we have a similar gameplay experience if you're leveling Dexterity. I will explain more about special effects in episode 2 once we have access to the blacksmith. Equip the longbow, make another offering to the Kodama, and level Dexterity to 14. You can participate in the Yokai Shift Control's Dojo mission, but this is completely optional and will not void any trophies. I hope you've enjoyed episode 1. My name is xMax, and I'll see you in the next one. Be good.